Well, so we have to do the newspapers. Mama, good morning.
Well, it's not a very good morning for me.
I know. It's just a greeting, so I have to obey.
And the cold is, But good morning.
Good morning. It's the weather.
Yeah, we'll try and take it easy.
We all have blocked noses around.
Yeah.
I'll give you some medication.
I hear you.
Approved. FDA.
By the FDA. Okay.
FDA approved med.
All right. If you missed the AM news, we're going to do the newspapers to review basically the stories that the newspapers are reporting, and we will concentrate on what is highlighted on the front and back pages, and some of the stories in the inside pages as well. We go on myjoyonline.com to check out what our news portal is reporting this Wednesday. So let's go straight ahead. I have the Daily Graphic, the Ghanaian Times, and the Find newspaper. Roland?
Yeah, definitely. I have the Today newspaper, the Ghanaian Publisher, the Daily Guide, the Dispatch, and the Statesman.
Okay, so let's go straight away.
Oh, and I have a new one.
With the what's that? Is that a new?
Well, it's just.
Which one is that?
It's called. If we can get it closer.
What, the convention?
Yeah, I know we didn't take a screenshot of this, so at least you get to see.
This is your own newspaper.
No. It came. I think it was in the graphic, or
it's
it
very
came with
cute.
it. Yeah, cute. The Convention People's Party. The party decided to
they
enumerate all the achievements of the first CPP government.
Oh.
Of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
Okay. Is this coming because of the Founders Day that just gone by?
Yeah, I'm sure they wanted to get us educated. So.
Okay.
It's called the Convention.
The Convention.
I'm beating.
So is in which
the
of
record.
the newspapers? Is it?
I kind of saw it.
Embedded in one of the newspapers?
Yeah, in the graphic, I think.
Okay, all right. So let's do the main graphic, the Daily Graphic newspaper front page. Police find another skeleton in Takoradi. Panelist advocates equity fund for SMEs. That's the event that I was at yesterday. Hopefully we're able to bring you some of the conversations, but the full discussion was live here on Joy News. So some of the panelists at the Graphic Stanbic Bank breakfast meeting yesterday on the front page of the paper, including the MD of Graphic and Stanbic Bank, also our own Lord Mensah there on the front page of the paper. Also, they are not dead. Families of missing Takoradi girls declare we've done nothing illegal. PDS makes a statement and details in the paper today. 2019 in the center spread. 2019 Education Week launched. Also, increase in consumer taxes will worsen plight of household, according to the Institute of Economic Affairs, the IEA. On the back page of the paper, Housing Minister tours facilities in Accra, and PBC workers picket companies' headquarters. That's it for the Daily Graphic newspaper. I will be touching once we run through the headlines on some of the details in the paper today. But let's do the Ghanaian Times, front page of the Times. #1 released from police custody after court varies bail conditions. And yesterday we're told around 1 p.m. That he was able to meet the conditions with the justification lifted now, with just the sureties coming through. So he is on bail, but they're back in court. We'll get you the dates in the story. Vice President opens World Business Angels Investment Forum office here in Accra. Second season presidential pitch program. 2 females win 100,000 Ghana cedis for developing sanitary pad from plantain banana stem. Wow, that's very innovative.
Very.
Also, NLA to create 10,000 jobs as it launches 2 lotteries. And in the center spread, well, details of the stories on the headlines on the front page, except for this: Foreign Ministry to roll out new 48-page passport by end of year. And have you seen some of the comments that people are making? Somebody says, "Charlie, even the 1-page save, we know they get visa, and you're giving us 48. What are we going to do with it?" Back page of the Times, government Aqua Africa sign €30 million water project deal. And then that would be pound, right? Yes. Illegal structures in Kabakaba Forest Reserve to be demolished. Roland.
All right, so I have the Daily Guide newspaper. I'll start with that. The Daily Guide has on the front page, more dead bodies found in Takoradi. Has an inserted picture of Comfort Ahin, mother of Ruth Love Quason being consoled after the press conference, we're told. Nam1 bill terms change. Nana Apia Mensah, aka Nam1. That's a caption. Court remand police woman killers. A defense minister launches 2 games for veterans. Ghana introduces 48-page passport booklet. On the back page, we're told Lukaku trains with Anderlecht. He had been waiting for a move to Inter Milan. It looks like it's been a bit shaky because of the decision of the team not to go ahead with signing Dybala from Juventus. GFA election set for September. We're told September 27. The Ghana Football Association.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The normalization thing, no, I don't know how we have normalized.
Charlie, no, you haven't been able to normalize. To leave the football to the administrators.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, true. Today newspaper has on the front page, Ken descends on Bedukobi. It's on page 3. Osaya Meyaw is the NLA boss. He's featured atop a story. Says VAG Lotto Super 6 jackpot launched. I'll pay a courtesy call on him. Officially in my capacity as Roland Walker. Good morning to you, Mr. Kofi Osaya Meyaw. I'm going to pay a courtesy call on you officially. SIP dip formation long overdue. Togbi Apode. We're talking about the IPPs, Chamber of Independent Power Producers. Now they have a governing board. You know, there was all this argument about whether the chamber really was representing the IPPs. Now it looks like they've come to stay. CRM module will cause unemployment. And those are the stories we have. Front page of the Today newspaper. Let's go to the Statesman. The Statesman has a story. 2.75 billion Ghana cedis saved in 3 years. Review of NDC contract helping to recoup taxpayers' money. That's an attached picture of Ken Oforiatta, the finance minister. The Statesman newspaper. It will be on your screens. Also on the front page of the Statesman newspaper, we have more bank debt to be settled by end of August. Ghana to regulate recruitment of the Gulf. The Ghanaian publisher has on the front page, NLA launches VAG, Lotto, and Super 6 jackpot. Again, Kofi Osaya Meyaw is here. Good morning to you, Kofi Osaya Meyaw. I'll pay an official courtesy call on you as Roland Walker.
Is this a repeated show that we are watching?
Repeated comments.
Go ahead.
Okay. August 4 is the most sacred day, says Nana Akufo-Addo. We know it's a holiday. Next year to celebrate it. We need political will to implement child rights policies. It has a bright appear attached. He is convening a children's forum in Sunyani. Government to regulate recruitment into Gulf countries, according to the Minister for Foreign Affairs. Let's go to the Daily Dispatch newspaper. It has on the front page, Finance Minister was wrong in his attempt to transfer PDS shares. And this one has been attributed to somebody who's also a regular on the show. He was on the Joy Super Morning Show on Tuesday. Mr. Kobina Atabedu is a procurement expert. They also give you an insight into the 10 top billionaires, or Africa's top 10 billionaires. It's up there. You'll find it. It's on page 3 of the Dispatch. Down there, improving the lot of veterans. NLA, VAG, and Super 6 Lotto launched. Charlie, the story is dominating. Again, Kofi Osaya Meyaw is the Director General of Ghana Lottery Authority. Okay. I think that'll be it.
Okay. Let's do the Finder newspaper. Front page of the Finder. Ghana invents sanitary parts using banana and plantain fiber. President gifts inventors 40,000 Ghana cedis of personal money. But the figure on the front page of the Times says 100,000 Ghana cedis. 2 females win. What is here says present gift inventors 40,000 Ghana cedis of personal money. So I guess you have to read the details of the stories to appreciate. Maybe there's 100,000 and there's a 40,000 personally from the president's pocket. VIP opens World Business Angels Investment Forum office in Accra. Ghana to introduce 48 page passport this year. Minister launches NLA VAC Lotto and Super 6 jackpot game. Increasing consumer-based taxes is wrong according to the IEA. So the stories are very similar, almost the same, if not in the 3 papers that I have: the Graphic, the Times, and the Finder. But let's go to page 20 of the Daily Graphic. Are you through with the papers that you are reviewing?
I am.
Okay, so page 20, Daily Graphic newspaper, and it's actually headlined on the front page: "We've done nothing wrong or nothing illegal." PDS making a strong case for itself, and it's on page 20. Story by Kobe Asma and Enoch Dafa Frimpong. Comes with a picture of Philip Ayesu, the PDS board chairman, and the Power Distribution Services Ghana Limited says it has nothing illegal in its transactions and is thus ready to fully cooperate with the government of Ghana in its investigations to help find an early resolution of the dispute that has led to the suspension of the power distribution and concession agreements in the interest of the country. And forgive me for my cold, it's getting a bit terrible. Roland, I'm just going to hand over to you so you can do the other papers. I'll come back and finish this.
Okay. While we get that respite for Mama V, there's a story occupying the front page of the Daily Statesman newspaper. It is captioned "Ghana to regulate recruitment to the Gulf," and it has an attached picture of the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Shirley Ayokobotwe. And we all know what happens following reports about what happens to young girls and gentlemen when they go to the Gulf. And the Gulf countries could either be Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, and the rest of those other states. We have Oman in those countries. Now, Ghana is not in a peculiar situation when it comes to young girls who, because of seeking greener pastures, tend to go to some of those countries. Indeed, we've had to report from South Africa, or the Southern African belt, as well as East Africa, particularly Kenya. And recently, we've also had reports for Zambia and also from Uganda, Tanzania, in which girls had been told initially that they are offering you job opportunities to either be maybe a dispenser at a pharmacy, or sometimes they want you to be a maid, and sometimes they would say that they want you to just be somebody who is selling in a shop. But ultimately, when you get to find the reports that seem to be coming out of the Gulf countries about how some of our young girls are treated, then we should hold our leaders responsible about the level of influx of young people from our countries to some of those areas. The point is that we know strictly how especially women are treated in many of the Gulf countries, if not the Arabian countries, because Islam is the main sort of religion that is there. And so they adhere to the rules of Islam strictly. Now, if there are opportunities that should come your way, either you're reading it from the newspapers, it is through any social media advertisement, then either you consult your parents, you consult people who have the right sort of knowledge about the conditions that you may meet in those countries before you take the decision. Because many of the times, we've had reports, not only from the BBC, even from Joy News itself, and there's been dossier of literature that has been published that is indicating that even though you are told that you could be a maid when you get to either of those or any of those countries, you will not have those opportunities to become what you intended to be. The treatment is humane. And so if you want to go to those countries, think twice. They promise you heaven, but really when you go there, what you go and meet will deter you and also make you regret that you took that decision.
Roland, thank you for that piece of advice. But I tell you what, those who go have heard this over and over and over again.
And they still go.
They insist on
but we
going.
still need to keep saying it.
Go to Libya. There are people in Libya. There are
Even
people
though
that if you show
it's not
pictures
stable.
and you tell them the situation, they still would go. Let me continue this, what I started on the PDS speaking to the Daily Graphic, the chair of PDS speaking to the Daily Graphic on page 20. This is, they've actually broken down the comments that he made. But there's this point where he says, Mr. Ayesu expressed the opinion that someone from the ECG had been trying to use Al-Qud to mislead the government and was therefore of the belief that the truth and the facts would all be known when the investigations were completed. Whoever gave the government that hints or information schemed to procure a 16 July 2019 letter from Al-Qud alleging that it had no relationship with PDS and the demand guarantees presented by PDS were fake, did not exist as they were obtained by fraud and was not signed by an authorized person. And this is a quote from Mr. Philip Ayesu. Mr. Ayesu also explained it was strange that the said letter was not copied to PDS or the brokers of Al-Qud, the reinsurance broker, Joe Australia and Danwell Insurance. By an email from Al-Qud dated the 30th of July 2019, Al-Qud stated that it had not received premium for the demand guarantees, so it declared its intention to cancel both demand guarantees. He said on July 31, Mr. Ayesu said Al-Qud sent its formal notice of cancellation of the demand guarantees to its broker, Joe Australia, which was not copied in the July 16, 2019 letter from Al-Qud to ECG, which had alleged fraud and raised forgery. According to the PDS boss, the reason stated for the cancellation of the demand guarantees was not fraud or forgery, and stressed that until July 31, both demand guarantees were in place and were only cancelled on July 31 for non-receipts of premium. Meanwhile, PDS had paid the brokers of Al-Qud through Cowbank for the payments of for the premium. So this is actually very detailed. It's the other side of the story. It will be good for you to grab the paper and read everything that's on page 20 for your own understanding of the situation between PDS, ECG, essentially the governments. So details there on page 20. We have to go to myjoyonline.com, but not before I read a bit of what's in page the center spread of the Ghanaian Times newspaper about NAM1, the chief executive officer of gold dealership company Men's Gold, Nana Appiah Mensah, has been released from police custody after meeting the bail requirements. This comes on the back of the variation of his bail conditions by the Circuit Court yesterday in Accra. Nana Appiah Mensah was granted bail on July 26, but had been in police custody due to his inability to meet the conditions, including 1 billion bail bond with 5 sureties, 3 of whom must be justified. But we know that justification was lifted yesterday. So essentially the conditions were varied, and we're told that he met the conditions, so he's out on bail. I was listening to the PRO, who essentially has become almost the spokesperson for NAM1, who says he's going to take a rest, maybe about 3 days, and then we should expect that they would hold a press conference and they will tell us the way forward. So we see how that goes as well. Let's do myjoyonline.com just before we make way for sports. Roland, myjoyonline.
Okay, so let's go to myjoyonline.com. Kumasi RecSec clamps down on prostitute patrons. We've done nothing illegal. PDS reacts to allegations. Lewis Hamilton stunned by viral video of Ghanaian celebrating his win. Yeah, Formula One. I didn't know it was popular in Ghana until I saw that viral video. Looks to be somebody watching in his home. Value of mobile money interoperability transaction for half year hits 217 million Ghana cedi. Look, I tell you, mobile money, there's a lot of money that is transacted on those platforms. Ghana committed to improving business environments. A story attributed to the president, Nana Akufo-Addo. Adodi. We also have Otreko. Police arrest suspected car snatchers during commissioning of new police station. Kwame Nkrumah is not the only, and the UGCC's 4th August can't be the date. Okay, so we don't want fourth, but Nkrumah is not the only. Police find fourth set of human remains in Takoradi. That's a picture there of Samuel Udotok, Wales. Men's Gold, CEO to address expectant customers after needed rest. We told you about what the PR said. Those are some highlights of the other stories occupying the homepage of myjournline.com. Let's scroll up a bit and tell you what you can also find. The Chartered Institute of Management accountant also has some story there, so you can just make sure that you go onto the page myjournline.com, get to know what really is featured. Okay. All right, so we're done. We have to do sports.
Yeah, we have to do sports.
Yeah, sorry for the running.
Transfer window that's closing tomorrow. We will get the sports guys in the studio a bit later on. Let's find out who's gone where. But for now is the latest sports updates. Rooney is player coach somewhere. We've got the details for you right here on the show. And Manchester United is interested in the player who plays for Spurs now. We'll see how that goes.
Christian Eriksen.
This season must be good.
Charlie.
All the updates coming up right now.
Still number 6.